Going over on the EU side, I'm Alpha Sax, being joined here by Spuddington, and this game is going to be between Rest and Pepperonis and Invaders. And we just saw on this stream Rest and Pepperonis 2-0 victory over Mouse Sports, and off the stream, Invaders did 2-0 Gamers 2. So Gamers 2 and Mouse Sports going to play in the lower bracket first round, which will again be off stream, and we'll see the winner of that game take on the loser of this game in our first best of 3 tomorrow morning. But that's all. You guys can see the brackets on the stream when we go to that one. That's all inconsequential. So we're going to head into this best of 3 right now. I'm being joined here by Spuddington. Spuddington, talk to us about this best of 3. What can we expect to see?
Okay, well, one thing that's actually the most interesting thing probably about Invaders is they have I'm So Fresh, well-known jungler, been around for a very, very long time. Pretty much the only player I've seen that still plays Nunu jungle. He plays it really, really well as well with a Feral Flare. It's a really scary late game threat. It's actually very, very strong early as well because of the consume, the jungle control, all that sort of thing. So we may see that picked up by Invaders. And obviously, if you have Nunu in your composition already, that tends to lend itself to a lot of other things. Stuff like Caitlyn, AD carries that really, really benefit from the Blood Boil attack speed steroid. However, with the rest in Pepperonis, not ponies, taking Kassadin already, you've got to say it's a scary thing because we saw how powerful that pick is in the first game up against Mouse.
Yeah, Nukta just dominated with that Kassadin presence in the mid lane. So Jax, Irelia, and Renekton the bans out from Rest and Pepperonis. Invaders going to ban away Lee Sin, Kha'Zix, and Rise. So Hart targeting Ko and Alex Titch on that set. The Kassadin is the pickup, and an interesting first pick here for the side of Invaders. They go with the Tryndamere.
That is fascinating. Honestly, that is a pick I've not seen them run before. Never, in fact, have I seen them run that one. But it's a very, very unusual choice because they're picking it essentially blind here. We are on the live servers. I don't know if we're running placeholder picks as a possibility. That might be a thing. I don't know. But Tryndamere picked blind has a lot of problems. There are a lot of characters out there that can counter him. Although, in fairness, there are so many top laners banned out that once again, there is that possibility that he would be actually pretty good against all of the remainders. Still don't think he would do particularly well against quite a few ones. Aatrox, Trundle, all those kinds. Dr. Mundo probably as well would be pretty good against him. But we'll see what they run against him. We've actually got the Lulu locked in, so it actually may be a Lulu top.
Yeah, we'll have to see how this ends up going because they did lock in both the Lulu and the Thresh. So Lulu top does seem most likely. So Nukta probably going to be handling that Kassadin, and then Alex Titch will get the Lulu for the top lane. So they're already running a decent amount of support here. Having one of their solo laners who's going to be dedicated to kind of helping out. The other picks that we're seeing here from Invaders, they did lock in the Lucian along with the Tryndamere, and they just grabbed up LeBlanc and Morgana. So it's most likely the Tryndamere going into the solo lane, although there is some potential for Tryndamere jungle. So we just lack either a top laner or a jungler here from the last pick from Invaders, which will clear up the comp nicely for us here. Last picks coming in now from Rest of Pepperonis. We're going to grab up Twitch for their AD carry, and they pick up the Elise jungle.
So we saw how scary Twitch can be. Obviously, now they are going to be running that in the bot lane with a Thresh, which is what I said before, does take account of his weaknesses very, very well, allows you to escape with the Lantern, etc., etc. And they've also got a very, very strong composition. Up until this point, I was actually a little bit concerned for Rest in Pepperonis, because although Kassadin is very, very strong, although he does scale pretty well into the late game because he gets very tanky, that does mean he's actually lower damage than a lot of the mid laners can be, even in the ultra late game with like a full build, you know, Seraph's Embrace, Rod of Ages, all that. His damage gets to be good, but not fantastic. That means, of course, if you're taking a supporty top laner and, you know, a zero damage support and a low damage jungler, then you're in real trouble. But Twitch has enough damage for everyone. He has so much damage built into his kit. It really just doesn't matter if you have no other damage sources on your team. So long as you can keep Twitch alive, you can burn through your opponents. But the thing is here, I'm actually a little curious if Invaders are ever planning to team fight. They have built themselves so much mobility and so much split push with LeBlanc, with the Nunu here that we're thinking about, and the Tryndamere. They may just be looking to never team fight ever, split push your way to victory, 1-3-1 or whatever else you may feel like would be a good idea. And that could be super, super scary if they get ahead early.
All right, so you did mention the Nunu jungle beforehand, and he is going to grab that one up. So I'm So Fresh going to be running the Nunu. Nunu Tryndamere seems to me like one of the most terrifying things to have to face in the late game. being able to give him all that extra move speed and attack
Yeah.
speed with the Blood Boil, I don't really know what to say about that. And in addition to that, look at the AOE zone control they have to protect Silver Carry. If at any point Kassadin tries to go in and get some help from Elise, they're going to have to contend with both the Soul Shackles and the Absolute Zero, creating big zones of either hard CC or significant damage output that those guys are going to have to be very careful of. Of course,
Yes.
the Kassadin Q, one of the big things that people complained about was without the silence, it's not as good. It does still interrupt channels, and that could be a big problem for getting a significant damage Absolute Zero out.
It's okay though because they have the black shield, so they can charge Lu's
Haha.
ultimate with
Wheels within
impunity.
wheels.
Yeah, they may choose to do that, but at the same time, that would mean you're not going to have it on your AD carry or your LeBlanc, who may well want it as well. And actually, thinking about it, Tryndamere does also benefit tremendously from the Black Shield, and that may well be the linchpin of their late game teamfight strat.
All right, so we're heading into the spectator delay here, guys. We're going to take a little bit of a commercial break. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Logitech and ProBuilds.net for their support in making this tournament series happen. Be sure to stick with us, guys. We're going to take that quick break, and when we come back, it's going to be the first game of this best of three between Rest and Pepperonis and Invaders. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we head into the first game of this best of three between Rest and Pepperonis and Invaders. I'm Malphus X, being joined here by Spuddington, and this is the winner's bracket final, effectively, even though there's only 4 teams here in this invitational. Winner's bracket final of the first installment here of the Solomid Invitationals 2014, brought to you in part by Logitech and ProBuilds.net. Teams have picked up their starting items and are heading out onto the Rift.
Yeah, we've got 2 conga lines right now. That could be really scary if Alex Ish or Ko actually walked up there, but they've actually left the brush a little early.
I'm so fresh coming back down here. Gonna get spotted out. Ko. Basically, the entirety of both teams are here. We could see some 5v5 action level 1. Ko is gonna get bound up there. Nicely done, threading the Dark Binding around the side of those Spiderlings. Typically very difficult to land skill shots like that onto Elise when she can go into Spider form. But that's gonna be just about the end of the level 1 for the moment, at least. Teams regrouping. Mithy gonna get some deep wards down. Might get caught out on the return. No, he's gonna be able to keep himself safe with the help of Alex Itch.
So now, do they guess where the ward went down there? No sweepers available yet, obviously. But if I'm so fresh, clears out that ward when he goes through. Be a nice little thing to have done if he goes for a red buff start. But team is invading once again, and Nunu, if he goes for the counter invade, he will get spotted out. They've already warded that.
Yeah, they have to assume that Mithy put that ward down. Like, they just have to. There's no other reason for him to go into the jungle like that. And now they're going to walk in here. Dark Binding lands onto Ko. Ko goes into Spider form. Big chunk of damage onto I'm So Fresh. Ko going to find himself caught out. The Chosen One goes in, picks up the first blood. Now Freeze on the run. Summoner Heal being used to counteract the exhaust. 2 flashes come out. 1 more auto attack. Silver Carry gets the return kill.
Oh my.
That's actually 2 for 0. And they're still chasing this down. Alex Itch. Nice double glitter lance, but not going to be enough. The spinning slash takes Chosen One through. And that's 3 for 0 in favor of Invaders here at the 2-minute mark.
And they're not even stopping here right now. They're going to steal away the blue buff. Because, of course, all this level 1 posturing and positioning, that all goes to nothing if you are just going to be killing half the enemy team at that early stage of the game. So they walk in, steal away the blue buff, get the timer on it. He knows he's not going to be contested on that. Then he can get his own. So that's a 3 buff start, a 3 kill start. And they've got the duo lane mid lane to try and shut down Kassadin now. That is a scary proposition. Kassadin does not have much answer to 2 people at once.
Absolutely beautiful opening here from Invaders, getting LeBlanc versus Lulu, which is again a matchup that Lulu does very well in. But if you can 2v1 the Kassadin and just kind of force Nuke Duck out of the early phases of the game, it's gonna be very difficult for him to ever get into a situation where we saw him making the kinds of plays that he made in the first best of 3.
It's a little bit odd though. I'm actually a little curious what I'm So Fresh is going to do now, because it looks like he wasn't going to go top lane after all. Because the only consequence, the negative consequence here, is that the Chosen One in the top lane is now going to be solo against 2 himself. Tryndamere does not cope well in 1 versus 2. In fact, he probably copes about the same as Kassadin, which is very, very poorly. So at some point, I'm expecting that I Am So Fresh will actually go up there and look to support him. But right now, it looks like his priority is going to be the bot lane. The ward has gone down, but there's still a lot of gank potential. LeBlanc sets you up so well, and Nunu at this stage of the game is actually a very strong sustained damage source. With his red buff, with his attack speed, with his snowball spam, he's just all around very, very scary. And now he's going full Honey Badger into the enemy jungle. I don't care if I run into Elise. It's fine. I can kill her.
Yeah, he's feeling really strong with this one. Taking away the extra buff, getting the extra farm early on. Both teams are going to end up with matchups where they have melee ranged, hyper-scaling champions in 2v1s. So even though you don't really want to have the Kassadin in that situation, you definitely don't want the Tryndamere there either. So it's not particularly great for either side here. As Purific just keeps training with Alex Itch.
Yeah, I was surprised. I was expecting to see 2v1s this game. I was expecting to see Lulu, actually, though, be the one in the 2v1 if it was at all possible for Rest and Pepperonis to engineer that situation. As it's happened, they haven't gotten the best setup, but they aren't going to be too unhappy. I mean, obviously, in terms of their level 1 fight, then it's gone very, very poorly indeed. But as long as they don't end up losing too many kills, then they'll be okay with that. I'm So Fresh is just not leaving the enemy jungle. He's still there.
And why should he? He sees the Elise in the mid lane. He's just going to continue counter jungling and taking as much farm away from Ko as possible, as Ko's just kind of shoring up the mid lane tower and keeping that as healthy as he can. Chosen One, is doing what he can, but realistically, the 2 towers are even on health, despite the fact that Invaders jungler is invading, role playing there, I guess. And the jungler for Rest and Pepperonis has been trying to keep the tower in the mid lane as healthy as possible.
Yeah, Nunu really does personify I'm So Fresh's playstyle. These super aggressive invades. He's just sat in the enemy jungle. He'll kill the enemy jungle if he finds them. He'll stick to them. He's just hyper aggressive. And he's also a huge buff controller. So Nunu does fit his playstyle perfectly. And now, with 3 people in the mid lane, they're going to maybe look to push the tower. the wave clear from Elise is a little bit frustrating in that particular playstyle.
Yeah, it's also the fact that she's ranged allows her to get a lot of work done with clearing out these creeps. But that said, Mithy is getting like a decent amount of experience, but he's not getting too much farm, despite having the elites there to try to alleviate the pressure and help out. The Chosen One keeping pretty much even on farm, even though he's up here all alone, doing what he can to keep his tower healthy.
Yeah, he's doing pretty well, honestly, in general, just managing to get any farm at all against Thresh Twitch, because it's a lot of damage and a lot of crowd control, but he's managing, he's getting his sustain up.
And Mithy is actually timing his flays just to prevent last hitting. He's actually standing up and waiting for the Chosen One to go for a last hit, and then using Flay just to keep him CC'd as creep dies.
Really nice stuff to see, but they aren't pushing him out. And it's partly because he started with an extra Doran's item. They will take the tower at some point soon, but Twitch is actually working against them here because every time he auto-attacks, he obviously gets the poison down, and the poison is aggroing the tower on him. So he kind of has to either choose on a given push up to the tower, am I going to look to harass Trind here, or am I going to look to go for the tower? It's kind of tricky to choose between the two, but right now, they should be able to get that tower pretty soon, and the mid tower is still standing.
Alright, so that tower does go down. And Freeze is going to stick around, pick up a little bit of extra farm, but he's not going to get punished for that one. Down in the bottom lane, Alex Ich went for the big outplay, trying to use Wild Growth to cancel the LeBlanc distortion, and then turn it around into a big all-in, but wasn't able to make that opportunity happen. So the fact that Lulu lost her ult, and Elise has just been pinned to the mid lane the whole time, is actually going to set up an opportunity for a very early dragon here from Invaders, and they do take that down.
Yeah, and we're actually seeing Madrid's Razors on Nunu right now, so he is going for that Feral Flare build that we've seen him run within the past. It's a really fun build to see because he becomes such a terrifying late-game threat. His auto-attack damage normally isn't that great, but Feral Flare is the best one-stop shop to get yourself a lot of damage if you have a lot of attack speed, and obviously Blood Boil does tend to mean you have a lot of attack speed, and obviously the attack speed debuff from the slow is great too. He's actually moving for the invade now, but this might be a bit brave. He is surrounded by two people, but don't care. Honey Badger.
Yeah, he's just going to blood boil himself up, drop the war down, and run away. And this is so much of what Nunu is about is primarily jungle control and vision control and just dominating the map all over the place. So the fact that he's constantly in the enemy jungle, constantly applying pressure, helping his team take down turrets or get damage on turrets, even though they weren't able to take down that mid turret, and then just making sure that Ko always has to realize that there's an opportunity that any unwarded path could see Nunu plus LeBlanc or Nunu plus Tryndamere coming to try to steal a buff away. He has to be constantly on guard and just vigilantly watching his buffs and his jungle entrances.
And I really like the fact that I'm so fresh there. Warded the enemy blue buff and then just left. He just wasn't interested in that blue buff. But it means that they've had to be very careful, very slow about how they go about taking it for fear that he could be coming. Because he also knows that there is a pink ward in that area, which Freeze is just clearing out. Which meant that he knew that they didn't know whether he was there. So he was free to go and just pick up another few CS there in his own jungle. So really, really nice control so far.
Perfect with a really nice trade against Alex Ich as well, dodging out all the glitter lances and getting a full combo down. So Alex, below half health, does still have the wild growth available to him, but expect to see Perfect continuing to play aggressive in this mid lane champion matchup, transplanted down to the bottom lane because of the rotations. Alex Ich again goes to the big outplay, but the distortion wasn't there. Perfect going to save it to just blink away, as he gets the sense that a Kassadin not in mid lane is probably a Kassadin trying to cause problems.
Yeah, and this is one of the situations where Nunu is not going to be so strong. His counter ganks aren't going to be so great because he's more sustained damage, but if you go under the tower...
Lands the Dark Binding, tries to start it back up down in the bottom lane. We see it's actually I'm So Fresh just using the ultimate to try to keep the tower alive. Alex Ich takes too much tower damage. He's going to go down. Now Nuke Duck goes to the other side of the tower. He's going to get taken out very low. Auto attacks plus the Ignite going to be good for Perfect. And now Ko on the run finds himself 3v1. Maybe trying to chase down a kill. Not going to have the opportunity to do so. They back away and give that kill over to Perfect as well. Double kill for the LeBlanc. And everything is going Invaders' way this game.
They are so powerful right now. And Alex Ich there did just accidentally tank the tower too much. Now in a lot of trouble. This is not something we've seen from Rest and Pepperonis. And it's going to need some really clever map movements to bring themselves back in. This is a big gold gap, and they're contending with extreme split push and extreme pick potential. Not a lot of team fighting, like I said, But with the Chosen One and the support from Nunu, towers will get shredded very quickly, and with LeBlanc, they can catch anyone who is looking to move to respond to tower pushes.
The Chosen One, despite being 2v1 for the entirety of the laning phase, is even on farm with Alex Ich. Even though Alex Ich had the 1v1 matchup, Nuke Duck looking to get dived gently here, as I'm So Fresh is going to take massive damage from Nuke Duck plus the tower, so they're just going to have to back away from this one. But the Chosen One, he's done an amazing job of keeping his farm up. He did lose the tower, but he kept it alive for quite a long time. And I'm really impressed with this Trendemir so far this game.
Yeah, he's got 2 kills as well, so he's very, very scary. If they get him low enough to chase without fear, then Kassadin can chase him to the ends of the earth, even though he's Trin. But he's so strong right now. Unless they already got him down to like 10% health and used his ult, there's no way Nuke Duck could actually kill him, because he just lifesteal through his damage. Kassadin right now, not very strong. He's really, really scared of Trin. That just means he's going to get free farm.
There's a two level disadvantage between the two. He has to show that kind of respect, because I mean Kassadin is kind of purely all in when it comes down to it. He can do a little bit of harass with the null sphere, but even then he's maxing out the force pulse instead, so he's not going to have as many opportunities to do that. But this is a rough one. That Bilgewater Cutlass is the Chosen One. He's just free farming and he's sustaining everything up. He's going to be full health the entire lane.
Yeah, full health, full rage, which is a horrible thing, because now it's even harder to get aggressive. This is one of the reasons Trin snowballs so hard, is if he's already ahead, you can't bully him away from the minions, so you can't bully him away from his sustain, so you can't bully him away from his rage, so you can't bully him away from his crit chance, which makes it even harder to fight him. And that, all in all, makes for a horrible, horrible laning experience. Kassadin is, of course, fortunate in that he will never be killed by Trin unless he's screwed up massively. But it does mean, of course, that he's not doing any roaming for his team.
And look, I mean, these two are kind of the two that got pitted against each other in the laning phase, so to speak. They were the ones who were 2v1 against. And compare the farm between the two of them. It's a 40 CS gap right now for the Chosen One, and it's only going to grow. He's in total control of this one. There's no sign of Nuke Duck being able to bring this back.
And here comes the dragon play. I don't really foresee anyone coming down to stop this. Alex Ich, maybe. He does have the teleport, but are they really capable of fighting at this point? I don't see it. Like, maybe if they could get Freeze into a really good position, but it actually looks like they're going to go quite happily for the tower and then the dragon play. I mean, why take one thing when you can take two? But certainly Invaders stamping and stamping and stamping on the somewhat lifeless corpse, frankly, at this point of their opponents.
Yeah, Alex Ich is going to be the guy who gets the push opportunity here, so he's going to be the guy getting a little bit of free farm and some experience, and can maybe try to take the tower down. But Invaders, you know, they cover that dragon really nicely. They push people out, they grab the tower, and they're just taking care of their objectives right now. This is the most important thing at this phase of the game, and that's why they're up 5,000 gold.
Yeah, and no Lich Bane on Alex means he's not going to push very quickly. They've managed to force away that push as well. Wendelbow possibly being a little bit risky here, but he may be able to chase for the Soul Shackles.
He wants to try to get in range for this one. He knows he has Flash, but he doesn't want to just trade it with Mithy's Flash. There's the Soul Shackle going down. Mithy going to flash away. Gets caught up by the Dark Binding anyway. The culling comes out. Mithy's going to get caught. Ethereal Chain's going to be good for the kill, as Purific grabs up yet another kill on his LeBlanc. 3-0-2 right now.
Really, really good stuff there. Clutch at just at the very tip of the Dark Binding hitbox there. And now you've actually got to be very careful if you're Nuke Duck. Obviously, he is Kassadin still, so he's still going to be difficult to pin down, but this is the problem with Kassadin sometimes, in that he has not gotten off the ground, and now Ku.
Windowbow uses the black shield to get away from Cocoon. Now Ku goes back down, picks up gives the kill over to Silver Carry. Windowbow with beautiful timing there on the black shield, and again, he gets the Dark Binding past the Spider Links. Mithy gonna get locked up. Can he get away? No, he cannot. Purific picks up yet another kill as Invaders claim the mid-inner tower.
Nice CC chain. They are heading all as 5 to Baron right now. That is actually a possible thing. They can do this. Nunu has got level 5 consume. He has so much objective control. Trin has so much damage and so much sustain. They will get this if they're not contested. And I don't know if RIP really think this is a possibility. Clearly they do, actually. They're rushing straight there. But it's going to be gone before they get there. And they've got to be careful they don't get pinned down by Wendelbow.
Chosen One extremely low, but he still has his ultimate available to him. They do claim up the Baron. Windowbow going to try to get himself away from this with Deadly Venom still ticking away. I'm So Fresh looking to get in position to try to drop the absolute zero. Very low on mana, however. Alex Hitch drops the ultimate. Beautiful Glitter Lance going to snipe out the kill onto Windowbow, so they take down the support. They're still trying to chase this down. Mithy uses the Death Sense. Distortion going to be good to get Perfect away from that one, and that looks like a clean disengage. Rest and Pepperonis will have a little bit of map presence here, but the Baron goes over to Invaders.
RIP Baron only lived for about 30 seconds. It only spawned and then just to be killed by Nunu there. So really, 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 really snowballing hard. I mean, this is a bigger gold gap than when Mao's surrendered pre-20 minutes this game. This is crazy.
You look at the side of Rest and Pepperonis, and they have an amazing amount of scaling. So they might still try to fight this one out. But just look at how behind they are. Nukeduck yet to finish a Rod of Ages even here at the 16.5-minute mark. And it's the only thing he's tried to buy. He doesn't even have boots. He's got a Doran's Ring, a Crystalline Flask, and the components for Rod of Ages and nothing else. Compare that to, say, the Chosen One's Tryndamere, who has Blade of the Ruin King done and a Zeal and has 2 kills and a whole bunch of farm and is just terrifying when it comes down to it. He's absolutely terrifying.
And you can see Nukeduck's trying to accelerate his build. He's trying to hit power spikes earlier. He skipped the tier, but Kassadin takes a long time to scale up. There is no denying that, even since his rework. I honestly feel like I wonder whether he would have been better served by going for that blue build, but then you'd have had to contend with the fact that you'd be so squishy and so vulnerable to LeBlanc. It does seem like Invaders are showing us, guys, how to counter Kassadin right now.
So the Chosen One goes in onto Alex Hitch, gets the ultimate burn, and then just goes back to farming and ignores the fact that the Lulu even exists. So he's going to be feeling pretty good about this one. Windowbow taking a little bit of control in the jungle, going to get the Dark Binding down onto Mithy. Mithy going to get locked up here, does manage to get himself away with the Riftwalk before the Soul Shackle latches. Dark Passage coming out to get Freeze away from this one. But Chosen One continue to apply pressure. They might look for this dive. Beautiful Dark Binding catches out Freeze. Freeze is going to go down. Silver Carry picks that kill up. The Chosen One taking out the tower. Going to use his ultimate. The Cocoon will not land, so he might be able to get away from this one. Volatile Spiderling not going to get into range. Black Shield there to help out in case it did. Chosen One takes it up right to the limit and gets himself back out.
The Q heal was just enough. Maybe actually the Baron regen as well was possibly what kept him alive there. Super, super close stuff. But they're continuing to solidify their advantage. They're continuing to take towers and towers and towers. And Morgana is doing a huge amount of work in setting up picks for them here with the Dark Binding. I think they may chase on the tower here.
Pure Effect coming back in. Misses the double distortion. Ko goes up into the repel. Gonna come back down. Not enough cooldowns left. Black Shield goes on to I'm So Fresh. The hook goes on to Perfect. The distortion gets canceled out there by the Flay. Alex Hitch picks up the first kill on to I'm So Fresh. Perfect going to be able to back away as that I'm So Fresh stands to the front, makes up the tank line here. Perfect sends the clone back in. It's not going to matter. The double kill goes down to Alex Hitch. He picks up the snipe onto the Chosen One with the Glitter Lance. Gets the help picks down onto Windowbow. Looks to pick up the slow with the Glitter Lance. Not going to land it. Void Pulse does get the slow down onto a Silver Carry. Silver Carry going to flash away from the Cocoon and the Venom Cast. And just like that, Rip and Pepperonis, they show a little life. They pick up 2 kills as they run Invaders out of their base. But nonetheless, they're still just tragically behind in this one.
Yeah, and they can't take an objective off this. There's no dragon yet to take. They don't have the minions for the mid tower. They're just basically going to be able to take a breather right now. And that was purely off of a mistake from Invaders. They were a little bit too aggressive going for the siege on that tower right then. Can they cast Swords Pure Effect? No.
Will not be able to do so. Unfortunately, Mithy burning out his flash to try to make that one happen. But at this point, those are the kind of things that they have to make happen. Yeah, they have to get something up if they want to try to keep themselves in this game.
Well, they didn't make it happen, unfortunately, and that is going to be the flash of Mithy. Now we have Kassadin trying, with the name of Mithy, Nukeduck. Map movements. This is awkward for you, mate.
Nukeduck.
Good luck.
Run it out. You got this. Oh, there's the chicken slow. Mocking Shout, too good. They will be able to chase this one down as he tries to link back up. Perfect gets the Ethereal Chain, and that's going to do it. Silver Carry goes unstoppable. His 5th kill of the game goes down onto Nukeduck.
Yeah, the net was closing in there. There really wasn't much he could do from that point, but I can understand why he was there. He was trying desperately to apply some map pressure, and you can see Alex Hitch doing the same thing right now. They know they can't fight. They know they can't continue to play this map movement game, so they're just trying again to do something that will force the enemy to stop taking their own towers. In this case, taking the enemy towers. But again, Alex Ich is not that strong at taking towers. He doesn't have attack speed, he doesn't have a Lich Bane, doesn't have a Sheen even. So he will be outraced here, and that will be an inner tower probably. Yeah, going. There's no problem there.
And let's face it, Nunu Tryndamere is going to outrace anyone and everyone anyway. It's so hard to try to out-damage those two when it comes to just sheer damage output onto the towers. So, I mean, they do grab the tower, they do grab the dragon as well, so they're picking up objectives, but you hit the nail right on the head. It's keep away right now. It's keep away from invaders. Do not let them actually engage, do not let them fight you at all because of how far ahead they are. And, you know, Rest in Pepperonis, they're doing what they can to try to pull themselves close enough back into the game that they can make some picks happen and level out the gold, but that's going to be a long way off before they can actually stand in 5v5 fight.
Yeah, and once I'm So Fresh gets tanky, once he's got, say, a Randuin's, he'll be able to start tanking towers as well. Because he's got the sustain from the consume, so he would be able to just sit with the team as they took towers.
Yeah, they got the pick. They got the pick, and that was purely Twitch being Twitch. Going back in, Mithy goes forward, gets nuked down.
That's bad.
Huge Wild Growth coming back out though, using the absolute zero to try to create the space. Ko gonna pick up the kill onto Windowbow. The chosen one just standing in the front, face taking everyone. Pops the ultimate, trying to chase down onto Ko. Ko goes up in the repel, and Nuke Duck's gonna be one to pick that kill up. So again, Rest in Pepperoni showing signs of life here, and Freeze with the assassination potential of Twitch coming out of stealth. Blade of the Ruin King Venom cast coming up huge for his team.
Invaders have to be careful. If they do not have the Black Shield available for Trynd, they can't teamfight. She used it on herself there, because otherwise she would have been caught. And because it also started off with a pick on them, they weren't able to go for that fight. It was essentially a 4v5 that Trynd was looking to go for the counter engage on. And I can understand why he did that, because they were all so grouped up. But he's just not going to be able to kill them all quick enough when he's alone and when he doesn't have the Black Shield, because he got whimsied. And as a result, his damage output dropped quite significantly. But here comes the Baron.
Yeah, Baron's going to be respawning. It's back up now. And we'll see if invaders are able to maintain their control and pick this one back up. They find an opportunity here with Nuke Duck's down the bottom lane. They're just trying to pick up as many kills as they can. Mythic gets caught out with the snowball. That's going to be enough for Purific to land the ethereal chains. He goes unstoppable as he grabs that kill up. 5 kills now for the LeBlanc with no reply. And the pings do go down in the Baron area. They're going to clear out the vision. We'll see if they're going to bait or if they're going to try to take it down.
Well,
and
remember,
like
they can tank it indefinitely. Like, Nunu practically... Okay, I'm not going to say he could solo it, but he's not far off. His sustain is super good right now. And that means they can disengage relatively safely.
So Ko getting zoned away here. He's going to have to run himself back out. Chosen One goes back in with the spinning slash, eats up the cocoon. Purific tries to take advantage, goes back to the front. Not going to be able to get the damage output down that he wants. Gets ignited as well, so he's down extremely low. Ko, very low himself. Does still have the smite available, so they have the opportunity to try to make a steal, as difficult as that is against a Nunu with Consume maxed out. Nuke Duck gets a nice slowdown onto 3, and then takes a pretty good amount of damage for his trouble. But Rest in Pepperonis do successfully pull invaders off of this Baron.
Yeah, they're playing this as well as they plausibly could.
Ko gonna get caught out one more time. Big shields coming down from Alex Ich. The Chosen One gonna get caught up by the Death Sentence. Windowbow turns himself around and runs it away. Ko still keeping himself alive. Triple kill goes down now for Freeze. They're chasing on to Chosen One, and Perfect, trying to get himself away. Chosen One going to be the one they go after. Oh, the sweeper. The ward going to find it back out. Flash goes over. Beautiful death sentence over the wall. Mythy finds him out. The 4th kill of this fight for Freeze. Now he's trying to chase down on a Chosen One. Chosen One gets slowed up by the Glitter Lance. Can he take anyone down with him before he goes? Doesn't look too good. Cocoon going to miss. And that's going to be the ace going over to Alex Ich. Rest in Pepperonis are right back in this one.
I find it hard to believe, frankly, though, that they were able to win so many fights. Yes, their team fight composition is much, much stronger than their opponents. And yes, there have been some dodgy compositions, but the gold difference was cataclysmic. It's the kind of thing where teams just give up. We saw Mouse give up being that far behind earlier on today against Rest in Pepperonis, but they are not giving up. And because they were able to get such a good team fight now, as you say, they are right back in it. And now it's going to be very, very difficult for invaders to keep the split push going. Before, they were way ahead. They were able to capitalize whenever anyone was out of position. Now they need to be careful, much, much more careful than they were already about how they apply their map pressure. They can't team fight. That is definite.
Rest in Pepperonis, they cut down a 10,000 gold lead to a 6,000 gold lead, which is even less now. It's actually below 4,000 gold separating these two sides.
And they've got Baron.
And that, keep in mind, that team fight happened on a 1-item Twitch.
Fresh. It's maybe 2 Honey Badger.
He's trying to get into this one. I'm so fresh. He's going to have to back himself away from this one. There's an Infinity Edge now done here for free. So if he opens up like that again, it's going to be twice as fast. The Bark Binding goes down, but that's the Mikhail's Crucible. Immediately, he picks up the kill so fast on the Chosen One. Chosen One doesn't even have time to use his ultimate. Ko in the front now. Gets caught up by the Ethereal Chains. Unstoppable goes Alex Itch. Picks up the kill on I'm so fresh. Double kill for Alex Itch. Continue to try to chase down. If he can get back into range for yet another, he might be able to pick this one down. Play goes down on the Silver Carry. Silver Carry locked up. Freeze goes dominating as he picks up the kill. And Rest and Pepperonis are just running down the mid lane.
That was definitely not worth it. Trind screwed up his ult there. He did not ult. He got bursted down. The Twitch Expunge took him out. He wasn't ready for it. But even if that was not the case, being forced onto the retreat there, they still would have lost 2 or 3 men. And now they're going to lose an inhib tower themselves in return for 1. Yes, it gives them an opening in future, but suddenly they've lost that presence. They've lost that map control. And I don't know how they're going to be able to split push this in future. This is I really don't think they should team fight this.
Pure Effect trying to come in from the flank. He's going to go down to Freeze. Now we see Freeze still on the front line. He's going to be able to flash himself back and to try to get himself out of range for Chosen One. Chosen One gets up to the front, gets his ultimate down this time, does successfully take out Freeze before he falls. Can he take down Ko as well? No, he cannot. Ko's going to be the one to pick that kill up. It's a 1-for-2 trade in favor of Rest and Pepperonis. They're going to try to stick around and take down the inhibitor if they can. Perfect is down, Chosen One is down, so the main source of damage is going to be Silver Carry. I'm so fresh trying to help out as he can. The Black Shield had to be used on the Windowbow, so Silver Carry cannot step forward, and that's going to be the kill going over to Nuke Duck. He steps forward, gets on the Windowbow, down goes the support, down goes the inhibitor. Rest and Pepperonis have evened up the gold and taken down the first inhibitor.
Unbelievable. The kite is so damn strong from Rest and Pepperonis in these team fights. They're about to take the big gold lead as well, take away the blue buff, take away the dragon. It just seems like Invaders are completely lost. They have no idea how to cope with this situation, and it actually looks like they're not going to go straight for the dragon. They're going for another pick. Silver Carry is going to have to watch himself here. Take the lantern.
Mithy? Nuke Duck? Excuse me, that's Nuke Duck, not Mithy. Gonna be able to just juke himself away from that one. So Perfect cannot find the kill. They're gonna try to take down the dragon and get some sort of global gold back to build up a gold lead, but Alex Itch comes in from the flank. Freeze on the other side with the ambush. He's going to open up on a Perfect. Alex Itch picks that kill up very quickly. Silver Carry jumped on by Nuke Duck. Freeze going to be the one to pick that kill up. Absolute Zero goes down to no avail. Freeze grabs another double kill for himself, and Rest and Pepperonis might look to try to end.
And Invaders got baited into another team fight. That, although they had just forced them out of the area, they hadn't done enough damage, and the Baron regen was very, very strong. So it was an easy fight, and they will pick up Wendellbow here, and most likely the game here, because there's no one to stop them. I just don't see how you can do it as a Trind 1 versus 5.
It's just a Chosen One 1v5. Rest and Pepperonis take down one Nexus Tower. They take down the second one. Rest and Pepperonis with an unbelievable comeback win in game number 1 of this series.
Just phenomenal. I mean, Ku said it in chat for those of you, I don't think it's enabled on stream for you to see, but he said comeback of the year, and frankly, I agree. That was beyond hope. It was so far gone. That was the Empire Strikes Back. They were in this horrible situation. There was no way you could